Hello, buddy. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor. Today we're doing a coaching session. This is patch 10.6, and we're going to be looking at Rakan. So special thanks to Sammy for the generous donation. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to donate for a coaching session yourself, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. Usually we do replays so that you can choose a high-quality game that you want me to comment on, but it's possible that we can do a screen capture through Discord and do a live coaching session too, if you prefer that. Although it is a little riskier because you don't know if you're going to get a troll in your game. You may not get the champion that you want to play. You might get off-rolled. But if you're interested, just email, let me know. It's just $25 for non-members, $20 if you are a member via YouTube. Okay. And I am streaming. That's a little too forward against their comp. I think they're a lot stronger. I mean, you guys might be able to take them level 1, but Zaya needs to... No, Zaya took Q instead of W, so I don't think y'all can level 1. If she took W and y'all were, like, very practiced together, then Zaya Rakan can win if you both take W level 1, especially because the Thresh has exhaust. But you would want to go on the Lucian in that case, because Thresh is going to have Aftershock. But in general, I probably wouldn't advise doing that in Silver or Bronze, or I don't remember exactly what this is, but okay, nice. And I am streaming this, so you might hear me talking to the stream as well. Hey, what's up, Casey? What's up, Fane? Yeah, they do have the jungle. They do have a brand jungle on their team. Okay, that was a good hit. Okay, you got another shield. Okay, nice. You got him. Good. Be careful, Thresh does a lot of damage. You got minions all over you. Okay, good. Yeah, I'd just go ahead and take that back. Okay, nice. She should have taken that with you. What was I gonna say? Oscar asked, do I have a Maokai guide? I do not have a Maokai guide, I don't believe. I do, I am gonna do a UV guide that I've been talking about for like a week, maybe almost 2 weeks. At this point I really need to do that UV guide. But with a lot of, like, you know, the crazy COVID stuff going on, I've been trying to replan my classes and things like that. But I should have had time to do it. Just the daughter's home all day, my wife's home all day now too, and I just haven't been disciplined with my schedule and going in there talking to her or playing with my daughter when she's usually in daycare. But I should be able to get that out tomorrow. Okay. And I saw that you went for the Presence of Mind build. I personally think that Ulti Hunter, I like Ghost Poro and Ulti Hunter a lot. But there are a lot of people that do the Presence of Mind. If you take Presence, that does open you up if you want to go for a non mana item early. So, or I should say like a low mana item. So if you want to go for like a Shirelia's Rush or an Ardent Sensor or something like that, then Presence makes a little more sense. It is a very good rune. I don't know. It's possible that I overvalue Ulti Hunter, but the extra 25% cooldown on an ult that's as impactful as Rakan's is crazy. And then Ghost Poro, the fact that it gives you 30 AP later is just such a great bargain. And it gives you a little bit of extra vision early on. Next patch is going to be really interesting with Ingenious Hunter. They're basically cranking it up to give like 60% cooldown on items, and there are a lot of active items that Rakan can use. Like Shirelia's, Redemption, Mikhail's, so it'll be real interesting to see how that plays out. I've been a huge fan of that item for a very long time, but It's never really been like... There's one meta where it was like pretty good when Locket and Redemption were both really strong in Season 7, near the start of the season. But anyway. Okay. Yeah, Lucian's really annoying. I was just talking about this when I played a Malachi game a second ago. He's very annoying to try to get to. You can pretty much never get him unless he just like falls asleep at his keyboard or something. You need to buy boots on Yuumi a lot of the time, unless like at really high elo. Sometimes people won't because your allies can help you coordinate to go ward, but you still have to get off of your partner and go ward a lot of the time. And a lot of times your backs might be desynced. You know, your AD carry might die, and you might need to stand around the tower for a little bit and catch the experience. You might need to rotate. You know, she's not amazing at rotations, but if you have boots, you at least have the option to be able to rotate. So I think that going Ionians on Yuumi is probably pretty good. You also have 2 like active combat summoners that you can use very often on her. Typically, it's going to be heal and ignite, so having the 10% cooldown on those is pretty nice too. You get a lot of value out of that. So yeah, if you're like a challenger and your AD carry like knows what warding is, and they actually go around and help you ward so you can use their movement speed and you don't have to use yours, then you may not need it. But I think in solo queue a lot of times you want to get Ionians. And a lot of high-level Yuumis also get boots even in Challenger for the reasons I described. Even though people know how to like help you ward, just your ability to rotate better and just desync backs if you need to. Because if you have to back and your AD carry's not with you, it's just going to take you light years to walk back to lane without any boots. And Ionians like aren't that expensive, you know, like 900 gold. And you're getting the 10% CDR and 10% Summoner CDR, which is, even if you consider that about the same value as normal CDR, then you're getting about 500 gold value out of that. So you're really just paying 400 gold to have a lot more movement speed. So it's like not as expensive as it seems. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, this is a hard lane. You kind of just have to farm it out here. This Daya is behind, and she feels like, I don't know, she's just not doing enough damage. Daya is pretty hard to play in general, and she's not really in a great state right now. She's been nerfed a lot because of Pro. They really need to lower the cooldown on her ult down to something more reasonable, like 140. Well, this is a really, like, Lucian is probably one of the worst matchups for Rakan as far as ADCs go, because he puts out a lot of damage and pressure early on, and he can pretty much dodge you all the time. You have ult? Yeah, go. Okay. I would just flash ult right on the Lucian. Like, just flash before you even ult. You just kind of walk up, and then just flash on him, then ult, and then W him. And maybe y'all can blow him up there, but I mean, it happens. That was unfortunate. But yeah, it looked like you were just maybe trying to next level it, like expecting that he was gonna flash that way or something. Sadie, you're kind of stinky. What's going on over there? That happens. I mean, I've had some head scratchers myself, of course. So. Well, it's all good, man. It happens to the best of us. I'm not a huge fan of Mobies anymore. After that price increase, the 100 gold actually is quite a lot early on as a support. They do have a pretty good split of damage. I'd probably do Tabbies. Tabbies will help you tank a little bit more. Lucian is kind of the biggest immediate threat in Xin Zhao. And then Kale, the 10% damage reduction on autos from Kale also applies even if it's magic damage. Just anything that does an auto attack, the damage gets reduced. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember how her autos are coded, if it's on hit or on attack. The extra damage, but or Ninja Tabby. I don't remember if Ninja Tabby. I don't think it reduces on hit, but I think it reduces on attack effect. I'd have to look at the coding, but either way, she's going to be auto attacking a lot too and doing like pretty solid damage. So I think that the Tabbies probably be what I would do here. Yeah, as far as the Xin Zhao, like in general, and we talked about this last time, I think some of the best things you can do are like just R and run up to people if you can, or in the case of Zen, whenever he tries to go on somebody, then you R and then shield, and then after you've stunned him, then you go for the W. It's pretty much guaranteed that you're gonna get him. Well, those are all a little bit different. I think that Thresh probably still wants Mobies because he doesn't have to go in. Oscar asks, do I think that Ali, Leo, Thresh should buy Mobies? So Thresh, no. Thresh should still buy Mobies probably because he doesn't have to go in and get hit a lot because he can hit his hook and kind of decide if he wants to go in. Okay, nice. Alistar already has a lot of damage reduction with his ult, so he could probably still do Mobies. Let's look at that one more time here. And Leona, I would go for a defensive boot on Leona, either Mobies or Mercs, because she has to go all the way in. She gets a lot of extra value. Her W scales off of resistances, so does Aftershock, so... Okay, yeah, that was fine. You just kind of missed the W, but... Did you have your W the whole time? Or did it just come up? I don't know if the replay client's glitched or not. Yeah, that's fine then. What do you mean? Tabby? Tabby is armor, but it also has a special ability on it. I think it's 8% of attacks also get reduced, or 8% of damage from basic attacks get reduced. Something like that. I think it's 8%. It might be 10%. It used to be like 12, but they nerfed it over time. I don't know. I disagree with that. After the 100 gold nerf on Mobies matters quite a lot. It does kind of depend on what's going on. What's going to come down to is how valuable is the roaming. You know, it needs to be 100 gold more valuable than it used to be. It needs to be whatever the number is, 11% more valuable than it used to be, 1/9. Okay, so Lucian just bought Bork. You be careful about that. Is it still 12%? I thought they nerfed it down to 10, at least. And maybe even 8. It might be 10. I don't think it's 12 anymore. It should be. I think it's 30 armor.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Sort of. I mean, Mobies are good. They do still provide presence, but that's always been a debate among, or like with Rakan, whether you should get a defensive boot or Mobies. Like, it was pretty close. A lot of top-end Rakans were still getting defensive boost even before the nerf, the Moby nerf. Yeah, you needed to go for the Lucian there. It's because, like, you lose combat movement speed with Mobies, and that's a really big deal on Rakan. Like, you want to be able to move around quickly, obviously, so you can reposition your abilities. And the fact that you have the option to buy, you have the option to buy a bunch of utility items. So if your boots give you a little bit more defense, that might be able to free you up to go for something like a redemption a little more comfortably, or go for something like a Shirelia's a little more comfortably, without being too squishy. It is still 20 on. Oh, it's 20 armor with 12 reduction. Okay. I thought it was 30 armor. I guess. Okay, so maybe what they did was they took off 10 armor and gave it 2% more reduction. They did something to nerf it years ago. Yeah, that's what they did. They took off the raw armor and they gave it more auto attack reduction, I think. So it was like the inverse of what I said. That does make a little more sense, because that would make it weaker against ability-based physical damage, but stronger against autos. So like weaker against tower shots, weaker against you know, like Pantheons, Talons, things like that, but okay, nice. It's good survival there.
Double kill.
Get working Zeeks. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you are still really far ahead, if you take your tower early and you're smashing the game, then yeah, you can still go Mobies if you're gonna roam around a lot. Especially if there's another tank in the game. Or if you're already gonna buy tank items anyways. I mean, that's the thing about Rakan, is like there are so many different items that can be good on him in so many different situations. It's like almost any build that, you know, of his best 10 items could be debatable, you know, in almost any game. That's part of the fun with him, I think. Yeah, I've missed quite a few W's, but, you know, it just takes time to get used to it. It's sort of a weird skill shot. I'm losing you now, Mandrin. I'm not sure. This is getting poetic or something. I feel like I'm reading a haiku or something there. What? I don't know, man. Like, slow down. I don't know what's going on. Because I understood you earlier. For the most part. I don't know if this is like autocorrect or what. You got your Zeeks. Okay, so Kale's really far behind. Yorick has 2 items. She doesn't even have her Gunblade yet, so that's strong. Talon's really big right now. Yes, the coronavirus.
Shut down.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Maybe just let it run out on that one. Lucian is starting to feel pretty strong in this meta right now.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
My classes have gone to an online model now, so yeah, we just had about a month left. I teach at a university, which is a lot easier to manage than like teaching in a high school, I think, as far as like online goes. And it's English, so that's nice too, instead of something like chemistry where you don't have labs or anything. That'd just be a nightmare. So yeah, I am still teaching online. It's starting this week on Tuesday. I still have to finalize a couple of things, but I would probably get another armor item because Zen and Lucian are so fed. I probably would just get like Knight's Vow here. Or Shirelia's. Shireliya, maybe Shirelia's, because Shirelia's is very good with Talon, just to help him run people down. And I would look to play around the Talon split push. Okay, Lucian's bottom. Y'all should be able to rotate and get this dragon. Hopefully Talon doesn't end right here. You have your ult. Okay, let me look at this again. I think you could have... Do you have your ult ready, or, Okay, so you didn't have it right there. Let me see, where did you use your W? Like, when he gets knocked up like that, I would have W'd in there. Okay, you did. You knocked him up. Yeah. Yeah, I would have just let that go. Like, you went a little too deep for that. I probably would have just let him, like, you just W and shield back out, and then when the Talon's running out, just shield him. As you noticed, there have been at least 2 big fights where there's that fight, and then there was that fight bottom. Like, when y'all were fighting, like, right here, where Xayah got engaged on, where your ult was, like, if you had it, like, 5 seconds earlier, you would have been able to crush the fight. This is partially, and I know that's kind of like hindsight bias, but it happens a lot more than you would think, where you just need your ult, you know, like 10 seconds faster in situations, and that's where Ulti Hunter comes in. Whereas, like, I feel like the mana, it really is not a problem, especially if you're going Zeke's. It's extremely rare to run out of mana unless it's a very, very long fight, or you're just like going around to a bunch of small fights and you just never back. So that's why I like Ulti Hunter over Presence of Mind on Rakan, is because he already, like, you're probably not going to have mana problems because you're already getting a mana item a lot of the time. Alright, so let's try to set this up here. But yeah, you just, especially if you don't have your W or whatever, you just don't want to go that deep to try to just run at somebody. In general, if you have to take more than like a couple of steps, like 1 or 2 steps to tag somebody else, it's usually a bad idea. Especially if you're going for a relatively squishy build, like with a book there, and you don't have like tabbies or anything. Like if you had tabbies and 1 more cloth armor, maybe I think it still would have been overstepping. But maybe you could have like ulted and tried to grab the person who is reviving from Zillion and then E back out. But as it stood, I think you should have just let that go. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Get Lucian, get Lucian, get Lucian. Okay. That was nice. Ooh. Got the stun. Does he have it? No, he doesn't have it. Oh! Got that demolish proc. Nice.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Shut down.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do, Ardent here, just because... Well, what are you buying? Okay, yeah, you're doing Ardent. Because the Xayah's, like, not doing that well, she's okay. I think your big ticket is your Talon, though, and your Yorick, so... I'd probably just get a Shirelia's. And Shirelia's helps you out as well, quite a bit, with your own engages. Shirelia's is just really hot right now, like... I think that's one of the most underappreciated support items. It's like very strong. Like 2,000 gold is so dirt cheap, and like that movement speed is extremely valuable. And it even gives you the 300 health. Like it's very solid. Man, you're cracking me up. I don't know what the hell is going on over there, dude. Imagine someone who's like drugged out of their mind. It's like reminded me of damn, who was that? Coleridge, something like that with the what was that Xanadu poem? I can't remember the name of it. Talking about like China or something when he was like really high on opium. It's one of his most famous poems, but I unfortunately haven't read it in, I don't even know, almost 10 years. I think it was Coleridge who wrote it. It's not Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. It was his other one that was like really, he was like high as hell. When he wrote it. I think he said as much in like one of his journals, or like one of his friends said it. I'm sure there were a lot of poets that were kind of like that, especially in that era. But they're having their own little opioid crisis of sorts around that time. I think it was called laudanum. Damn, what is the name of that? I wish I got to teach more literature, honestly, because that would give me a good excuse to go back and read a lot of this stuff. That was one of the most fun classes I ever taught. I got to teach a 1650 to 1900 Brit Lit survey course, and I got to go through and read a bunch of some classic lit I hadn't read in a while. Okay, you got your, not quite, working on it. Y'all not entertained. It's fun. It's amusing. I'm trying to like make sense of it. It's not Xanadu. He's talking about Xanadu. Damn it! I gotta look this up while we're waiting on this team fight here for this turn again.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay.
Blue team's turret has
Already put in some work. Yeah, maybe you would have just shielded back and held on to your W. Like, your W's really big for dealing with that. Okay, nice.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Popcorn reading at universities. Kublai Khan, that's it. So it's about the Genghis Khan in China. But that was, I think, one of the really famous, like, hey, this guy's really, really high, like, classic literature when he wrote this. Obviously, with some of the 20th century stuff and kind of the drug, you know, hippie generation, there's a lot of that kind of stuff, but the psychedelics especially, Force of Perception and all that, with Aldous Huxley, although that was a novel, I think. Yeah, it was pretty trippy for the time. Really surprised. I had a Chinese student in that class, like someone who was like almost right off the boat, like barely spoke English for some reason, was in like this like Brit Lit class that her advisor recommended her. I'm like, most native English speakers have a hard time reading some of this literature because of the vocabulary, and they stuck her in there. But she actually knew that poem really well, like they studied it in China. It was like the one thing that she had read or was familiar with Kublai Khan by Coleridge. Game's a fiesta. Yeah, I think face checking that was a little rough. I think warding, maybe, I just wouldn't even go anywhere near that. Like, I don't know. You do have two people bottom. Just let Talon get pressure and make someone go down there. I would have maybe just like, because here's the thing, you know they're not doing Baron, right? Because you have that warded, so they're not doing anything valuable if they're there. So there's no reason to take the risk to walk over there because you already have a secure ward on Baron because they don't have a hand. So you're under no pressure to try to get a quick ward there. And Talon's already pushing bottom, so just wait on someone to go match him.
Blue team double kill.
Gosh. Got out. Well, the university activities are, we're doing them online now, but as far as like popcorn reading, in general, there's probably some club, like some poetry club or something, or they might have some events where people read classic stuff. They do have readers come in for, like contemporary people that are publishing stuff, but a lot of it's academic papers. I don't see a lot of like, hey, let's bring in this poet, have them read. Although they do that some. They don't do that as much with like classic. That would be something where you join like some kind of club, some kind of like undergrad club or something, or just get together with your friends and do it. Okay, nice. That was good. We would, when we were studying for comprehensive exams, we would do that. We wouldn't read it ourselves, but we would get together and talk about classic lit. There's like a group of 4 of us, master master students that got together and studied. We had like a reading group. Man, that was fun. I really liked my master's program. Ever any skin that I really like? Like, I'm actually curious if Mandarin is a bot at this point, just because like it's so illogical what he's saying, but I think he's just high. Because he was saying something that was very relevant to what we were doing earlier, you know, with the debate about ninja tapping versus movies. And I'm wondering if it's like, you know, another language is getting translated or something, like running through a translator, but even that seems a little, I don't know. Huh. Because I don't think he's a bot, and I don't think it's an English, like an ESL thing, or like a translation thing, but I don't know. Challenging me to expand my reasoning. The postmodern. Okay, nice. What are you getting against your third item? Yeah, I wouldn't really do Athenes here. I mean, they just don't have that much magic damage. The Zillion does do some damage for sure, but I would do either a Shirelia's or a Knight's Vow. Put on one of your people to help protect him. Mikhail's could be decent. Mikhail's does would cleanse like a Thresh Hook or something. It's alright, Mander. I mean, we're not gonna ban you or anything. You're amusing. We like you, buddy. I don't know what to say. Half of what you're saying. Oh, it's on. Nice. Got the dodge. Yeah. Yes, York's putting in some work up here. Split push maniac. Split genius. I guess those autos on the next. Okay, nice. Okay, so yeah, as you said, you missed several W's in there, so just work on that. It takes some time. I think it helps if you use your R, like we talked about last time. Use your R and then E over to somebody and try to get the charm first, and then go for the W. Because you're not gonna miss if they're already charmed. And you can R plus E immediately. You don't have to wait on any sort of delay. Like you have to wait that half a second to use your W or to use a flash. So that's really useful. So I think that can help out if you shield first. Get closer to the person if you can, and then W, especially on champions that are trying to dive in there. So on something like a Zen that's trying to get on your AD carry, instead of trying to like W them out of nowhere, you know, shield first and then go for the W, because the closer you are to them, the faster it's going to go off. So I think that's something that would really help out a lot. You know, consider getting, like we mentioned near the beginning, consider doing Ulti Hunter So we saw there were at least 2 fights, maybe more, where if you had your ult up a little bit faster, if you had your ult up a little bit faster, then it could have made a huge difference. So there are some people that do presence of mind, but I think if you're opening up with Zeke's, you're already gonna have enough mana there. As far as itemization, I do like the opening with Zeke's. I would heavily consider doing Shirelia's in a lot of matchups. As I said, against them, like probably something like a Knight's Vow second could have also been legit. I think that Tabby's would have been good because it was really the Lucian and the Zen that were very strong early on. So I think that would have been pretty clutch. And then we mentioned kind of the warding situation around Baron. If you have eyes on Baron, then you don't need to go like face check any bushes to get better vision. If you want to get in there and get better vision, you need to go with somebody. Just get some shallow vision first. Like just put a ward in that river bush there near the Baron, the one that's near mid lane, and then just go push up the lane with somebody else. And then once the lane is pushed up, that'll flush them out, because they're going to have to go down there to catch that wave. And then once they come out to go get the wave, that's when you can go in with your sweeper, clean out all their wards and ward it up. But yeah, you don't want to go in there just blind when nobody's on the map. You know, I guess a couple of people are on the map, but when 3 of them are missing, you don't want to do that. So just go with, you know, just wait on a mid laner or something. Go, you know, push up the lane, and then that will force them to catch it. And then once they catch it, you can go in there and sweep out all the wards. Yeah, no, I thought it was good. I mean, I'm just trying to point out stuff that you could do. But I thought that, you know, a lot of, you know, several of the plays were very good. You got multiple knockups. There were a couple times you got a little greedy with the charm, like under the tower mid lane and stuff like that. But overall, I thought you did make some really solid plays. So I thought that was good. It's definitely an improvement. Definitely getting there, getting better. Yeah, I think definitely tweak the itemization of the runes a little bit. And that'll probably help out. And then some of those other things, just really focus on, like, trying to use that shield to protect somebody and get a better position, and then go for that W if you can. There's sometimes where you can't do that, but I think a lot of times holding the W just a little bit longer, just to wait on the enemy to use their mobility, to wait on your Zen to use his dash, or wait on Lucian to use his dash before you go for that W, then you'll have a much higher probability of landing it. So anyways, okay. That's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching, as always. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you'd like a coaching session yourself, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. We can set it up. We can also try one of those live sessions if you want to use a Discord screen capture. But otherwise, we'll see everybody next time. Have a good day.